Take 3. So we're all vape gods here, right?
No.
Me, Bailey, Robert.
I can agree with
No.
that.
We're all vape gods. We're all addicted to nicotine.
I'm not really
Um,
addicted to nicotine. I just do it because I need to be socially inclined and do other people's demands. And if I'm not vaping one with them, then I'm just honestly not even part of the group anymore. So that's just how I feel. So I started vaping and having an addiction to cocaine. It's jumped. It's bad.
Whoa.
So we don't have to talk about why he does it. It's all that matters is that he does it and he's part of the group. Okay?
I also rap.
I also rap. Well, I try to rap. You do a freestyle really good. I don't.
Yeah. I mean,
Don't do you like to write music, Robert?
No.
See.
See,
He's the one.
I like to
that
base my
doesn't.
ideas off of the old originals. Dr. Dre, Eminem,
Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Seuss.
He's actually a rap
He's
god.
actually a rap god.
If you read his books really fast,
Yeah.
it is so good.
It's so good. Any rapper could pull it off. They can mumble rap that, and it's already an instant hit. They wouldn't even know the
Just-
lyrics.
Yeah. Like they wouldn't even recognize it being a Dr. Seuss thing.
It's just better at having
It's like,
a
wow,
better
this is
backdrop.
really original.
Yeah, putting it right in like that.
Just completely take it off.
Green eggs and ham. Hell yes, M-I-M.
Yeah. Now I just gotta get a sick beat in the
green
back.
eggs and ham. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck shit.
That was good. What's the name of it? Green eggs? Or ham? No, not both.
Susanitis.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
That's actually pretty cool.
That's actually-
Susanitis.
It's actually the last name of a dude who went to school with us.
Who?
Is it?
Nick Susanitis. Do you not remember him?
So?
Nick Susanitis.
Who was he a
There's
senior?
difference. I think he went to
I-
a different school freshman year.
I do not know who you're talking
and then,
about.
Then you're saying sophomore and junior and senior year he went to our school.
No, he was gone.
Oh, he
He
only went to
left-
school
He
during
left
freshman year.
our school
Freshman year.
freshman year.
Okay.
I remember Kyle Johansson used to always fucking roast that nigga.
That's fine. Whatever. But
Rappers can say it. Why can't we?
I'm gonna have to agree with that.
They don't
Like
know
even
myself.
white rappers say it.
Even white rappers, it's subtle. It's not like hard R or anything.
Yeah, it's not like we're trying to offend anybody.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a word that's
It's just,
really.
It's just Rob was raised in the wrong neighborhood.
You guys are both looking at me while you're saying this, and I feel
Because you're the one who
you're
said
the one
it.
who just said it.
But
who
you're
are we supposed to
you're
look at?
talking to the people, not me. Go away.
We're kind of talking to you.
We're talking to everybody but looking at you. Like directing it towards you so everyone can hear.
So I'm everybody.
So yeah. Just like Logic's new album. We talking about Logic's new
Yeah.
album? I already talked about Logic's
my
new album
God.
last time.
Logic and his wife are splitting up.
Shut the fuck up. That makes me so sad.
Wait, I read something about that. Like, why are they split? I read why he's splitting up and stuff. But why is that? Like, what happened? I thought he said that he knew she was the one.
He did say in interviews that he was pretty confident that this is the woman he loves and he made a good choice for a wife. But I'm not sure. He just posted a long ass paragraph about there's no anger involved. It's just they'd rather be friends or something like that.
Okay,
I don't
so
understand
they
that.
came to equal terms of what they're happy with, and I
Yeah.
guess they just want different people.
It's
I
very
agree with
respectable,
that.
but I just don't understand.
It's totally possible that he and his now ex-wife do genuinely love each other, but maybe the husband-wife dynamic doesn't really work for them all that well.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
agree,
thinking.
yeah.
I think that's what they were trying to say in their paragraph.
What's his wife's name?
Jessica Andrea.
Oh.
She also makes music, but it's pop music.
Oh.
She has the same producer too. Six
Oh,
makes.
is that how they met? Through the same producer, or was
No.
it just a
She
media
didn't.
thing?
No, she didn't make music until this year or last year.
Oh, okay. So was
So-
she still pronouncing anything else?
No.
Just
She
started
just-
being into music, and then a producer picked her up, aka Logic's producer.
She was always a good singer, but she never was confident enough. She was really self-conscious about her singing, so she just wouldn't make songs or sing in front of anyone. So then her and Logic, they got married, obviously, and she just got her confidence because Logic is such a goddamn good human being. He
Yeah,
he boosts everyone up, and he boosted Jessica to be able to sing,
Here we go.
make an entire EP, This is not gonna end, okay? I'm not gonna stop about this because he's such a
But
beautiful
here's
human
the question:
being.
how long were they like together before he?
2 years.
They were together 2 years,
Yeah.
and she sort of just had this enclosed sort of confidence that she couldn't get out. Like it's everyone has confidence in them. It's just about how it gets out, and Logic brought that out of her essentially.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were married for 2 years. I'm sure they were.
So they were together for 2 years, then they were married for 2 years. So 4 years altogether. Or are you saying they literally just?
I know it was 2 years of marriage, but I'm not sure how long before that.
Okay, that's what I was.
So I don't know.
So we're
maybe
not sure.
maybe something like that. But yeah, he like brought that out, and Logic's producer Six, who he like literally grew up in the hip hop community with, offered Jessica to make he's gonna make beats for her.
I like to
like
think
pop
that,
music.
Yeah, I
That's
like to
fucking
think
cool.
that. I mean, in a good positive way. I don't mean to like compare this so harshly, like so hard on somebody, or to compare rappers. But I mean, I think that Logic is almost as equivalent to the new Eminem because of how he raps, how quick he is. He's very like you can hear every word he's saying, and it has emotion to it.
Yeah.
With Eminem, his was more dark and like following how his life went, just as Logic does too. They explain their life in their raps and their stories and how everything went down. But I don't know how well Logic was brought up.
Like, what do you mean by that?
Like, was he raised in a good home? Was he
No.
like that's
No.
I knew I read somewhere that he was sort of not raised up well.
His father was absent for unknown reasons.
For known reasons, he was a fiend to drugs, and him and his wife did not get along, because his wife called him the N-word. I'm not gonna say it because I'm not Robert.
Did you know that Clayton J. Fanning is
Jay?
right? Jay.
Jay.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
No, it's just I gave you the initial.
Oh, what's it stand for?
You're my son. Jameson.
That's a cool name.
Clayton Jameson Fanning.
Like
there you go.
Jameson Ford.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
He's writing a biography on his man's Logic, also known as Sir.
Sir Robert Bryson Hall II.
Yeah.
That's part of his name is Sir. That's what
Oh.
his Logic's name is, Sir Robert Bryson Hall II.
Oh, really?
His mom named him like Sir and then Robert Bryson Hall.
Was it like? Is it because he actually is a?
He's
No.
not a knight.
Nope.
No, no. I mean, like, was his
No,
past,
he's not-
like, father or grandfather or
I don't.
He is
I
a
don't think
Sir.
so. Well, no, actually, I believe, obviously, Sir Robert Bryson Hall I probably had Sir in front of
Okay.
it.
That's
So
all
maybe
I remember.
maybe that's why.
I don't know if it was just off of the head or just following not like a tradition, because the tradition kind of stays with the years, but.
No, they just knew he was going to be a really famous rapper as soon as he came out of the womb. From the womb to the tomb, he'd be keeping it G.
Ah.
That was a lyric from Logic's song. Yeah, sorry. This is getting painful for me. I have to stop talking about Logic before I go off too long.
Sorry.
So about the Logic concert.
Okay, we're going to a
the
Logic concert.
Well, see, I spent $400 on a watch in that month. I was like, well, I can't spend any more because this is too much. And so I got lawn tickets for $25. But the experience is still there. I
Yeah.
just want to kind of see Logic. I may not be as inclined to it as others. But I
From a
started to get,
kilometer away.
but while seeing Logic, not kilometer away, that got me. Well, like while buying the ticket, I sort of like I enjoyed his music and wanted to get more into it. So every day I would listen to like a new song every single day. So every single day I would listen to a new song and kind of get more into it. And that's when I started to realize like he was more like a new age Eminem, and that's why I kind of see him as, because Eminem's a big inspiration to me. Like
Yeah.
he's not only as a kid coming up was it like really inspiring to me because a lot of his problems kind of were compared to mine, but he also just told like a really deep story, and his movies were really inspiring too.
You
Yeah.
also lived in Detroit?
No, Cheektowaga. It's kind of close.
It's pretty close.
Yikes.
Not only like how many miles?
Sorry, my dad's not a cop and can protect me at every waking moment. Rob.
My dad is the number one threat to my life.
He has a gun at all times. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, and so is every Cheektowaga.
You know what? Talking about guns.
I feel like guns should be illegal.
Yeah, you know what?
Talking about guns. My honest opinion is that guns should be illegal.
Wait, why is
Second
that wrong?
Amendment,
Wait,
more like Second Offendment.
okay. Somebody keep
Dab.
No, but I have actual reasons for
Okay,
it.
I want to hear these reasons.
So,
'cause, I mean, our views
it's-
are different.
No,
Yeah.
like the biggest reason is because of like the success rate of it in different countries. Like England, you can't get a gun legally at all, unless you're obviously a police officer or something like
Mhm.
that. And
I mean,
their
most of them
crime
don't
rate.
even, they don't even carry weapons, don't they? They don't carry guns.
I'm not even sure about that.
Batons,
Mm-hmm.
I believe.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking whistle.
And a whistle, that'll get them.
No.
Yeah, you fucking hear
Stop. And then it's
Stop
just,
it,
they get,
please.
okay, I'm sorry.
No, but like the crime rate, like mass murders, you cannot really kill that many people with just a
But
knife.
here's the thing. But
Like,
here's
they-
the thing,
you'll be
though.
taken
in
down.
those places,
It's more
gu-
lethal.
gun crime was already established, sort of strict. While
Yeah.
as in America, we're the pinnacle of freedom, so we're allowed these rights and we abuse them, and the wrong people did, and that's
Yeah.
what caused these things. Now,
That's always gonna
I'm
happen.
not saying that we should just oh, everybody should have guns, blah blah blah. I'm saying that they should be a lot more strict. I mean, they already are in Illinois or something. They're making
Yeah.
the gun laws instead of being 18 to 21.
Oh, I like that.
You can't even go somewhere. They have to see your license, but a lot of places like North Carolina, for example, you can walk into one of their gun shows and walk out with a gun the same day as long as you have cash. Because they give it to a like somebody who collects a collector, and then the collector gives it to you. It's the loophole, and
Yeah.
that's the issue with America is that we have so many loopholes that we get through them. Welfare is a big one. I have somebody at my work who genuinely milks our system. He takes a paid family leave because of his sick child and gets false paperwork so he can go out vacation, party, smoke, and stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah,
this
you
is
told
what
me
takes
about
money
that.
away from my paycheck.
Yeah.
Is because I was working 72 hours a week, and not only was in average I was supposed to be making $1,500 a week if I calculate without tax, and then tax. Instead of me making around there, I made only $100 extra on my paycheck because of how much we're taxed for these small programs being abused. Now, I agree. I'm glad that the tax money goes to like military, all that, etc. But like, I still a lot of it's not going towards infrastructure, like especially our infrastructure. For example, the roads. Because
Potholes.
every pothole they don't care to fix because they know that's just. I feel like this is like a sort of thing they had organized is that they don't fix those potholes because when we mess up our vehicle, then the vehicle companies
Yeah, they get more money
they
off
get
it.
more money and then that money is taxed and goes back into the state, and then it's just more flow. It's
They're
more
just
cash flow for
purposely.
them.
You think they're purposely leaving the potholes sometimes?
You can
Or for,
see
like, a
whole
prolonged amount of
road
time.
That is not even a main road; it's a side road that
Yeah.
needs them. That it's high traffic. That they can still go around. Like it's still a area where you can like French Union off there. And if
Yeah.
you take one of the like main side streets that a lot of people take, that the lights are quick, because if you go off that side street, that whole side street has potholes. I know it's hard to fix these things. Like I know it's not like a one-day task because I'm building maintenance. I know how things like being fixed isn't just a one-day task, or problems aren't just a one-day task. But it's sad that they're not being like dealt with.
Yeah.
Because we have the tools needed. Like one big complaint was weather. Like, oh, it takes longer to dry, blah blah blah. But they have a machine that literally pours it out boiling hot, and when things like a mixture is poured out hot, it actually cools quicker and will harden quicker.
Yeah.
So in concept, like, why aren't we just fixing half the problems we have and can save people money? Because you know why? It all goes back to the money that they need back.
Money runs society.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's the issue.
That's really what happens.
There's no one like me. I personally love money. Like that's just it's not like really an issue because what I do with my money is spend it on others. I like to treat people, and it's all for the right reasons. But money nowadays is like now how would you say like let me ask you this: are you rich?
Yes.
Okay, rich in what?
Depression.
Well, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm not rich either.
You rich? No, you're Robert.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were.
I think you just literally took the joke out of his mouth. He's about to kind of form it from his lips, and then it sort of just
No,
got
I'm-
sucked out.
Fuck.
Yeah. But
No, I'm the same way. I don't like. I'm not as like fond to money as you are, but
Mhm.
I would do the same thing if I had money. Is just like spend it on other people
And that's
because I
what I
don't care
mean.
about it for me. Like I just need enough to get by. That's all I really need, and then the rest I would just spend on other people. You're the same way too, Rob.
Ladies and gentlemen, Clayton Fanning is on Tinder.
Your boy is single, ready to mingle, looking for logic, specifically, now that he's single. That was a bar. That's on my new song, by the way. That's just a preview for my new song coming out next week.
Actually,
At
speaking of
4:30
that,
p.m.
We just made one in a car.
In a car.
A 4-minute one, I believe it was.
Yeah, we could
Me
probably
and
stretch it
Matt.
out to 3.5 to 4 minutes.
I'm saying like if we did, yeah.
Yeah.
Because remember you have to add all the music, the drag outs, and
Yeah.
I don't want to drag out
chorus.
music, but like it's that chorus that a lot of people like hearing in songs.
And then it takes like it takes like
Instrumentals,
15
yeah.
to 20 seconds to even start the
Well,
song.
here's
really,
the thing.
normally.
The concept was that I was the instrumentals because I can
Yeah, we were
I
gonna,
can form a lot of.
our idea behind the
beats.
song is that he's really good at beatboxing, so we want to make the song like all voice. You know what I mean? Like the
Like an
instruments. Yeah, but with like
but with rap.
beatboxing and rap. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, Biz Markie has done it. One of the most famous beatboxers.
But it's
the
so
starter,
difficult
the
to do
startup
that.
of
Hold on.
beatboxing. He was the pinnacle.
Biz Markie.
Yes. He had a show. I know. Yeah. Make
It's
jokes.
just Biz Markie.
What? That's just how I pronounce it.
Okay.
You gonna make fun of him for it?
Yeah. Are you making fun of me?
What, are
Spell
you gonna
it.
say the N word again? You gonna
Yeah.
mispronounce that? Huh?
I'm not going to pronounce it correctly because it's more offensive that way.
yeah.
What's really correct though? Like,
Nothing's right. Nothing is right. In
Nothing
today's
is-
society, nothing. If you breathe, you're in the fucking wrong.
Yeah.
If you start breathing on my property, you're gonna get fucking sued.
Just going to let you know that we're all cisgendered white males, which is probably why
Yeah,
we
this is
feel
probably
this
where our
way.
views are
We lose,
twisted.
we lose privilege points, to be honest with you, with all those combined. We're in like the -5. Yeah, no.
Hey, thank God you didn't see us because we were all slapping our heads at the same time.
Yeah.
This is the reason we don't have the webcam. Like, it's not because I can't afford it. It's because we're actually fucking
And
stupid.
it's also because I can't afford it.
And it's also because I
I
can't
can't
afford it. No, but the main reason is because we're fucking stupid.
My
Yeah.
foot has officially fallen asleep.
Yeah, he's on the ground right now. We're all huddled in my room, a small room,
Welcome.
and he's on the ground.
Welcome to Podcast ASMR.
All right, that was the ASMR
That was
section of the
ASMR
podcast.
section of the podcast, yeah.
That was a good, 25 seconds of it?
Yeah,
Not
that was,
bad.
That was pretty good.
I know everyone was looking forward to that.
I think we
can just
I
put it
think
in
we
the
just grabbed some
description.
new viewers actually.
Yeah, we can just put it in the description.
I hope you enjoyed those tingles.
If you couldn't tell what that noise was, he rubbed his nose on the mic.
And we're
And I
throwing it
thought
away now.
was- I thought it was adorable. And then I licked that portion of the mic because... Sometimes I just can't control myself.
The look of desire that I just received is like none I've ever received before.
You
'Cause
know
I
what?
never received it.
Yeah, let's talk about Liz.
Whoa.
We should not talk about
That
this.
is not a topic that we should.
We're gonna go back
Yeah,
to the
we're gonna
hip-hop
go back to
topic.
Liz.
Stop.
No, what is wrong with you?
Okay, back to the song we made with Matt. You weren't there, unfortunately, but we did want to use an ad-lib saying DJ Big Rob, even though you're not in the song. Is that okay?
But DJ Big Rob is an actual DJ on.
WBLK, the People Station.
I listen to that every morning.
I didn't realize that he was a real thing. I thought you made that up.
No, in regards to what Bailey just said, I like the Steve Harvey Morning
Steve
Show.
Harvey Morning Show. Every morning, me and Avery listen to it on the ride to work. They're just the goofiest people.
What do they talk about?
It's like a different
it's
thing every day.
It's a different thing every day, right? It's actually they would talk about like the shootings that would happen and talk about the tragedies and mostly they would actually talk about
They do
the,
prank calls.
they do
too,
prank calls
which is
too, yeah.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
they
Live
they know
radio?
they set them up too like really well.
That's fucking hilarious.
Like they literally just make people angry and then they'll just be like, ah, it was a prank.
Just
Got
it's
'em.
great because they'll just be like, you just hear people
Yelling,
at each other
yeah.
on the radio.
That'd be just like turning it on during a prank call. You
Like,
don't even
one of
know
them
you're
was,
listening
like,
to it.
He was pretending to like say that he was cheating on the wife's husband.
Yeah.
And it was a woman who called, like one of the women on the radio station, and she was just totally hammering into all the things they
Oh
do.
my God.
And then like she was like flipping out on her on there, and then she was like, "Oh, it's just a prank," and then she started laughing like, "Oh, I love that show." Like, who doesn't really?
Hilarious.
I mean, if you listen to it that much where you love it, I mean, couldn't you catch on to the fact that it's probably a prank?
I would love it if I could just like call my boss and be like, "Yo, fuck you."
That
this
was
has
really
been the
loud. I'm sorry.
This has been the Steve Harvey Morning Show. You just got pranked.
You're fired. Fuck. No, wait. It was a prank, Dad.
Wait, your boss?
My boss.
Your current boss?
My current boss, even though I really enjoy his company, Galeno Electric.
Just plugging in your
We're not
Contractor.
getting paid for this.
Yeah, it's okay.
If they pay us, we'll put it in.
I don't even get paid for that.
You don't get paid for working there.
Yes, I do.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Well, actually, I haven't gotten a paycheck yet. It's been about a
Yeah.
week and a half.
you
Yeah,
don't
because
know if you're
you
getting
get
paid.
yeah.
It's 2 weeks, and then you start getting paid.
No, he knew. He's just being a little goon.
Wait,
It's actually the taxpayers' money. It's mine. Fuck you.
where's my first paycheck gonna come in then?
Your second week,
No, yeah.
and then say you quit.
And
That,
you get another
that week,
paycheck the
you'll
next
get
week.
another paycheck the week after.
You're really far away. You gotta remember.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. We're probably gonna be varying distances throughout the entire podcast, but
It's gonna
fucking
sound
deal
like
with it, you pussy. I shouldn't say that word. Fuck.
I like how you're looking. You're like,
Because I don't know. Sometimes certain words I'm very. No, we can't censor ourselves.
no.
We're allowed to say. We cannot
we're-
say the N word.
We're allowed to
It's
say.
already been done.
We're allowed
I've
to.
already- I've already-
I mean, can we talk about
But yeah.
the man, the only, the lithin, the yes, the
lithin?
lithin melon? That's what I was gonna say. Kimi. He said that and actually got him more recognition for it. I mean, it was a lot of
Let's just start
it was a-
hammering it.
it was a lot of hate at first, but then people kind of turned it into a meme, and then people were back to watching him consistently. I'm sure
You need to be popular enough to do that. I mean, like,
Yeah, if we just start saying the N word,
we sound like a bunch of 5-year-old Xbox kids.
I mean, that'll get no views at all.
a bunch of people were mad at Logan Paul when he recorded the suicide victim.
That's a
but-
whole different topic.
But the whole reason that he survived is because he was so popular to begin with. If I showed up on YouTube and said, "Hey, look at this dead N-word hanging from the tree," and then I
don't
recorded
think he
it,
said that.
no, but like,
No, they
I'm
were-
combining.
yeah, but your
Logan
concepts
Paul
are
and
insane.
Keemstar, but like, if you don't have a platform,
But it wouldn't matter. You don't have a platform, so no one would see it. It would be
but
buried
then
in YouTube.
It would be impossible to get
Well,
a
it'd be
platform.
taken down, but it's not going to be seen by anybody.
Yeah,
You would,
like that's
you-
what we're saying. Like it's kind of irrelevant at that point.
Have you ever had a dream that
Why were your lips moving?
when-
You just weren't talking. That's so uncomfortable, dude. You know, wait, what's that new movie coming out where they can't make noise, and there's just, and the second they make a noise, these demons will come after them, or these like night.
Wait, that
A
sounds...
Quiet Place?
Okay.
See, this mic is kind of expensive.
It's okay.
So you're just going to fucking hit it.
And put your nose
Boom!
on it.
I'll buy another one if you want me
Yeah?
to.
Yeah, will you?
Yeah.
Buy me a better one.
No, I'll buy you one that specifically doesn't come with a pop filter. Because
Okay, yeah.
No,
So
but
about that
what was
movie,
the movie? I haven't
What?
seen the trailer or anything.
A
Is it-
Quiet Place, you said.
yeah, I remember when the trailer was first released. I found it on Facebook because I'm an old fogey and I still use Facebook.
So do I,
do
man.
too.
But
I don't feel like it's an old thing.
I
anymore.
saw a caption that said, "Ooh, finally a horror movie with deaf people," and the whole time I was like, "These people don't really seem deaf." And then I realized they're not deaf; they're just using sign language, which really clicked to me that for some reason certain people in this world think that sign language is exclusive.
For deaf people.
Like hearing people
You're not
just
allowed to use it.
cannot articulate their hands correctly
You know what that
because they
reminds me
can
of?
hear.
I found something on Facebook as well, also pertaining to deaf people, but it was like a video of a deaf guy, obviously not talking, using sign language towards the camera, saying like how movie theaters should there should be closed captioning on everything.
Well,
I don't agree with that.
like fuck, is that what it's called? Captions.
Yeah, it's closed
Closed
captions.
captions.
Okay. Yeah, but he was like, everything should have it.
I don't agree.
So like it
Neither
includes
do I.
includes everybody that you could possibly think
So,
of,
like-
like deaf people, people that are able to hear, mutes,
So like, I mean,
blind
like,
people.
Blind people.
They
Closed
can see
captioning
it.
sponsored
Okay,
by.
can-
I wish I could see that.
could we just go over the list of people you just said
I don't want
for
to
the,
go
for
over
the
again.
closed captions?
I don't
Okay,
wanna go over
deaf people totally makes sense that they want closed captions. Yeah, I mean, mutes. You can't talk. You can hear and see, but then the
Shut
problem
the
I
fuck
have is the blind people. I mean, multiple questions arise. How do they know that they're in a theater? Why would they pay to see a movie?
Braille, dude. Braille captioning. I think they should use Braille captioning as well if they're gonna go for closed captioning.
Well,
Fuck
I
it,
can
go
believe-
everything.
I can believe that the blind people one, because people like genuinely blind people walk into a movie and just hear the sort of
I don't
The
like
plot.
where this foot is, so just give me a second.
so
Alright.
you can kind of hear the plot and understand what's happening. I mean, visuals is by what they can interpret, so they can make it however they want. Like a
Oh
horror
yeah, it's
movie.
like a book
It's
I
almost
think
like
being
a
read
book.
to you,
Yeah.
but
It's
with
an-
sound effects.
It's literally an audiobook.
Ebooks. We're also sponsored by
Audible.
Audible.com.
What?
Audible stands for of course,
Dick.
darn idiot. By
Why would
Laudable.
it start with an O if Audible starts with
no,
an
I
A?
spelled of course with a U. I said and then of course, like starting with a U.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't know how to spell. Sorry, we totally just took that from Jack's Films.
You need to go away for a second.
Okay, he's gonna go lay down somewhere. It's just gonna be me and Bailey for a little bit, but that's
All
alright.
right, good. So what do you want to jump into now? Like, what's on your mind?
I don't remember what I was gonna talk about. Actually, yes, I do.
In regards to the whole gun control conversation earlier, just an example of a country where, like, guns being illegal works, is Japan. It's got one of the lowest crime rates in the entire world, and guns are not allowed whatsoever there. But, in my opinion, the only reason it works is because the punishment, like, it's very black and
drastic.
white there. Like, people there don't want to break the law. Like,
Yeah, it's on the people too.
the punishments actually deter people,
Yeah.
which doesn't really seem to be the case here in the
What
U.S.
about England? Because that has like one of the lower crime rates as well, and guns are illegal there too.
I don't really know much about England.
I feel like it's
Well, because
depending on the society, because everybody acts different
and
depending
that-
where they are.
Right, their culture
It's-
as well.
Yeah,
Their
it's
culture's
definitely
very inclined.
culture oriented. I mean, like,
Like guns
But
being
here's what
illegal
confuses-
in fucking Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Would that ever work?
But here, yeah,
That
that's
was
the
really.
thing,
I'm
though.
sorry.
Like, and it also depends on how it came abroad. Like America, we were raised to be like freedom, flag flying, friggin' full
Freedom
blown
flyers.
fuckers.
fuckers. Yeah, basically. And what happened is that everyone was so comfortable with this that we just expected nothing to come of it. Like, we just can shoot our gun somewhere for fun, and we can enjoy fireworks and be with our families and blah blah blah. But now every single other week is a shooting because they're saying we're just raising mentally ill kids. But where does that arise from?
Yeah. How is
How
that
is this
determined?
brought up? Because this is what media is saying. This is what media is slamming into people's heads. Is like, we're just raising mentally ill children. Like,
They're probably gonna try to blame technology. Is what they mostly do.
and you're exactly right. But technology has also brought us together in a lot of ways. Like, being able to expel this podcast as we're talking, and maybe some people would like be inclined to listen to it and maybe get something out of it. So I don't think it's necessarily technology. I think it's the lack of just care for each other anymore. We're so brutal nowadays that, and a lot of people just can't take it. We've turned into very sensitive people, and that's just
Yeah.
how the culture, like,
Evolved.
not even yeah,
Maybe that's
culture
where the-
evolved. And is that really evolving?
I feel like that's where
Or-
the depression rate comes from too.
Right.
Like you
It's,
said, they're getting more vulnerable, and
And-
like,
and a lot
things
more-
like depression are just taking more effect on these people.
right.
I personally believe that in the past, people who had depression genuinely had it, but I feel like at one point it really boomed.
Yeah.
But I don't feel that all those people who claim to have depression actually had depression. They could have felt depressed,
Yeah.
but I feel like a lot of people were self-diagnosing,
Mhm.
and on top of that, I know personally that there were people who went to school with us who used their air quotes depression to get
take
out of
advantage of things.
to get out of doing work,
Oh, of course.
to just for lack of a better term, fuck off
Yeah.
for their entire high school careers and not get punished for it.
No, there's
really.
obviously going to be people doing that. There's always
Again, loophole in the system.
there's always going to be a person doing something. Like
And there's
anything you can possibly think of, there's going to be at least one person that'll do that. Like
I
or
mean,
act that way.
Right.
Does that make sense? Am
No,
I
that
putting
makes
that
a
in
lot of sense. But also, here's what I used before: when people had depression, they would go clinically insane because they literally would think that it's fine and just gets through it. Like unlike a lot of things nowadays, like therapy and such. But back in the day, you'd be seen as like sort of a pansy, sort of like
You'd be seen as a weaker human being.
right? So then
Yeah.
they would just try to pump through it, and then they were put in mental, like hospitals and mental places, and they were locked away from society. So that's why it wasn't so glorified, because there's places around here that literally children were taking into places like depressed kids or like mentally ill kids and like adults that were literally put in these like wards and just most likely abused, most likely mistreated because being seen as a lesser person. And nowadays, if they anything,
Yeah, so
and
you're
so
saying, like-
and now things are more regulated and so strict that if anyone was caught doing that, which a lot of people are, like nannies, anything like that, they get instantly
punished, yeah.
instantly punished. And not only that, you're all over media now. That's
Yeah.
another thing. Technology can destroy people too.
Now it's something like they're not as afraid to come out as like saying like, yeah, I have depression, because
But
They have
back
a
then they
support
had to
system.
act like they didn't,
Right.
at the same time, though, I feel
and that's being abused, like you said.
like a lot of people just see, like, at one point, like really serious mental illnesses like depression and anxiety and bipolar disorder were really they like people had them, but they weren't talked about,
Yeah.
and then they like were in the limelight, and now everybody's just like, oh, let's talk about it,
Because
but
now we're more aware of how many people have it.
But another thing that you gotta understand is just saying let's talk about it doesn't fix anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like-
it does bring up awareness and like more research towards it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that a lot, like, it's still not being talked about. People are just saying, oh, let's talk about it. And since they say let's talk about
Oh, I
it,
know what you're
it's
talking
all
about.
supposed
Okay.
to get better.
I thought you meant like trying to get it publicized.
agree,
but
but-
you're like just saying like in a personal conversation.
Mhm.
I agree with both of you, but here's the issue with a lot of kids nowadays. We're a bunch of hypochondriacs. We like to nail things in our head that we think we have. So we'll go on our phones and look it up. Why am I sad this day and why am I happy the other day? Well, first of all, we all go through different emotions any day if you're just sad from something or thinking about other things. But it's these hypochondriacs just self-diagnosing, like Rob said, themselves with these illnesses that are a lot more severe than people think, because when you see online videos of a true bipolar person, you can see how quickly their mood can change from like very happy and delicate to just raging and hitting things and can't control their emotions. And while some people in school, like girls or like your girlfriend, you upset her in some way and then come back 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, she's like, sorry, I'm bipolar. That's
That's just a dumb
that's
excuse
a dumb
at
excuse,
that point.
not only for that, but for a human being to try to use that as an excuse, given that it's such a heavy ailment on somebody.
It's just
And it's
Now-
just excuses. It's just sad excuses.
yeah. Nowadays, everything's used as a shield. I mean, like, you make a joke, like, because they were very prevalent in the past, like a Holocaust joke, right?
Yeah.
But then, and everybody can be okay with it, but then you have that one person who's like, oh, I'm Jewish. And I mean, like, you can apologize all you want, but it's like, no.
That's a no-go.
No. Like, this, like, you are just a horrible person because you said this thing in a lighthearted manner. And I mean, like,
It's really all about intent.
yeah, like
It doesn't matter what you say. It's about
there's-
your intention of saying it.
there's a lot of people who, it's just, as Bailey was saying before, like, a lot of people are very sensitive nowadays, and I mean, like, somebody's always got something. Like, I mean, there are a lot of insensitive jokes, and I mean, they are insensitive, but
But they're meant
They're-
meant for a
they're-
better purpose,
they're
to make
meant
people laugh and
to make people laugh and they're meant in a very lighthearted sense, and a lot of people, I mean, all right, being offended by something like a Holocaust joke or something about like 9/11
Yeah, no,
or
that's
slavery,
completely fine to be
like,
offended by it.
it's
but, like,
totally understandable, but that doesn't make the person who made the joke
a bad
a
person.
bad
Yeah.
person. And I feel like nowadays it's very black and white, especially in the US. Like, oh, if you've said or done this before, you are scum.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no second chances anymore.
no.
It's literally
It's
just
really
like
you're burned at the cross for like whatever.
Right.
Well,
Because if
no,
someone believes
the
that you're a
stake.
bad person, they
Burned
will
at the stake.
hold
The
on to
crosses.
that.
we're
they
gonna
will
avoid
hold on
burning
to that.
crosses.
You know what I mean?
What's that?
Like, if someone thinks you're a bad person, they're going to hold on to that, and that's going to be hard to change their opinion on that.
and
Like, no matter what you do.
People have a very hard time nowadays forgiving and forgetting about the past, and I mean, that's why everybody's so unhappy anymore. Like,
Yeah. It's a good contributor.
we
like,
can't enjoy anything without somebody being offended and ruining it, and then like it can never be shown again, and it gets what is it? It's like blocking it on YouTube, whatever the heck it's called,
flagged,
like flagged or things like
demonetized.
that, and demonetized because we can't enjoy it anymore because that one person's offended. And here's the thing: if you're offended, why don't you avoid it? You don't have to watch it. You don't have to incline yourself into those things. And here's the thing: I come home from work every day, and there's some things I like to watch. There's somebody famous called Louis C.K., one of my favorite comedians. He's the most offensive person. He was actually caught doing very bad things,
and he admitted
to it. And he admitted to it. And you know what? We all make mistakes. We're all not perfect. We all have things like wrong with us, and some things and a lot of things can be fixed. But and instantly, when you make a mistake, society just wants to. The people who are, for lack of a better term, snowflakes. They like to. They like to.
Here we are back to the political part of the conversation.
They like to pin down people, and kick them to the ground. But they don't even realize what they're doing in their own shoes.
You know, that's kind of like if I need money, and say one person decides to get a job, the other person's like, I need more money right now. They sell a brick, a brick of cocaine, and they get instant cash. Like, does that make them a bad person? I don't think it does. I know, obviously, it's like something. It's because they really need money. I don't know how this pertains to what I'm saying.
That you're saying the cocaine is the mistake.
Yeah, like
they made the mistake, but does that make them a bad person?
Yeah, does that make them a bad person for wanting the money, getting the money, but doing it illegally?
Well, here's how far
Obviously, it's
your
like-
intentions was it needed. It's a needed cash, like paying rent,
Yeah.
paying bills. Okay, so the intention was correct.
But
here's-
unintentionally,
here-
you got someone hooked
unintentionally
on cocaine.
something right that could have went to a kid 14 and then he's now addicted and now he's dead somewhere.
You could've
Potentially
ruined a
overdose
life.
and kill somebody. Yeah.
Right, and it's not, and that's the things we never look into far enough. But that's a lot of things the other people look too far into.
Yeah.
And they take it to a whole nother level, which they're technically correct. It could happen, but I could walk to my house right now and there could be $1 million laying on my bed, and there could not be. But while we're sitting here thinking could it or could not, we could be doing something about it. But everyone
like, will
else
it
is
or will
there.
not it?
Right.
Will not it? Blech. Will
But
it not?
here's the thing about society: we want to go out and make parades.
Jesus
we
Christ! Welcome, Lil Xan.
We want to sit there and say, like, we're fighting for
Guilty.
equality. We're fighting to stop school shootings. So we're gonna walk out of school for 15 minutes for what purpose?
Guilty.
Instead of doing what I believe what the shooting happened in California, was it in Florida? Florida. In Florida, they went directly to the state. They went directly to their meetings, met at these courthouses with the congressmen, with these other people, and they were saying directly, I want this to change. We are the people and we have a voice. And instead, people want to disrupt, and people want sad excuses to walk out of school of, oh, In East, one of our schools actually just did it, a walkout for that shooting.
Oh really?
I was
We-
never. That's really crazy, actually.
We recently just walked out of school for 15 minutes, and everyone was gathered back into the gymnasium and probably talked to about saying like how dumb it was, blah blah. But in concept, what difference are you making? You're just trying to get out of class for an extra 15 minutes because you think it's funny. You want to put it on your story. You think it's a big joke. You want to go out to vape. You want to go out to do this, that, and that. But no one can really ever want to get up and make a change because we're all lazy now. We're lazy. No one wants to get up and work and earn something and have pride in it. I worked my first ever thing I paid for when I had a decent amount of money in my bank account was my computer. I may not play it that much right now because I'm hanging out with you guys making a podcast, but I take pride in that thing. I clean it every single day. I worked for it, and that's what gave me the drive for money because I know I could work hard enough to earn something and enjoy my time with people. I wanted that computer to enjoy times with you guys, like play games and be happy when I don't want to go out. I just want to enjoy a day. But money can also go towards like things I care about, like associations or donations towards things like I guess
donating.
yeah, like
Just
that's
random
that's a
charities.
big thing. Like random charities. Like I do it all the time. Like even walking into an Arby's or I think I went to Wendy's the one day and it's like, would you like to donate money to leukemia? And yes, I make a lot of jokes about leukemia. I think it's a pretty hilarious joke.
Yeah,
But
the
I
joke
also
can be
think-
funny, but it's a serious
I also
topic.
think it's a serious topic and a lot of people are actually dying because their blood is literally thinning to the point to where they can't even breathe on their own.
That reminds me of in senior year in math, I was in AP Calc, and I was definitely not fit to be in AP Calc. This actually pertains to like I was talking about like making offensive jokes. So like, my teacher hated like I got a 14 on 2 tests in a row, 14%, and I made jokes about it, like making everybody around me laugh, and like I made light of a bad situation, and my teacher saw it as like a bad thing, and she like pulled me aside. She was like, "Why this isn't funny. You have to fix it. This isn't. You shouldn't joke about something like that. Like, that's not funny. Like, you shouldn't be getting this grade." I'm like, "Well, it's already done. I can't change the grade right now," because she didn't allow corrections or anything. So I was like, "I can't change the grade. Why can't I just make like everyone else like happier in a way?" Just
lighten the mood
yeah.
and take light of a dark situation.
exactly.
And
Don't-
knowing that you can't
why
go back
do
to
all
change it.
negatives have to affect you in a negative way?
exactly.
Like that's why so many people are not happy with their lives, is that they take this thing that's negative and they say, "Wow, this shouldn't be negative,"
hmm
but it is, and like there's no way to change that. So why don't you go ahead and make the change? Why, like, make light of it? Like, oh shit, my car just broke down. Like,
Go do
I'm
something.
a fucking idiot because I fucking didn't change the oil. But it's like, joke about it, because like
That's
I
what
say
Don't
that-
get mad about it.
I say this a lot, but if you don't laugh, you cry.
Yeah.
And that applies in many different situations. So, I mean, personally, I find laughter to be much better sounding than crying.
And
Yeah.
So,
I agree with you. I'm going to give a direct example of what happened very recently. Me and my associate here, Clayton, were driving to GameStop to get him a new mic.
Oh my.
So, and this is not, and he's a little embarrassed by this, and I'm not, because I genuinely enjoyed sitting with him talking, and it made a light out of a bad situation. So we pull up, and this man right here decides when we go into the store, he decides to leave his keys in the car and lock the door.
See, I didn't know I did this.
He didn't know he did this, right. We come back out, we're looking for the keys everywhere. I'm like trying my best to find the keys, and Clayton stumbles over the car to find that the keys are in the center console. He looks at me with a big smile, reluctantly, and says, I looked at him and said, "Are they in the car, Clayton?" He says, "Yeah." So then we proceed to go over to the subway and sit and wait for his parents to try to open it. We couldn't even get it open ourselves.
It took like 2 hours
No,
for us
it's
trying.
Just try. Yes,
Yeah,
2
we
hours
took
just
2 hours
trying.
trying.
And then we eventually had contacted the police station to come down and try to open this vehicle. We met a very cool and understanding
Paul
Shout out to-
Daly?
yeah,
Paul
shout out
Daly.
to Paul Daly.
Paul Daly. And he comes down smiling like, "Lock stuff out of your car," making like, little subtle jokes. So we see he was kind of willing. And we started making jokes back, and he was loving it. He was making tons of jokes.
We were all just having a
We
great
were all
time
having a
trying
great
to open
time.
my car.
And we were there for, what, like 15 minutes just trying to get in with him? And we got in. And the first thing, when he opens the door and tries to go in to get the keys, the first thing Clayton says is, "Can you grab the smoothie first? I'm thirsty." Now,
You had to hook
now
inside
you
my
have
car
to...
try to get my keys. And I'm like, wait, forget the keys. Give me my smoothie first.
I'm thirsty. It'll melt. And in that moment, I knew it was just going to be a light situation, and it already was, because I didn't mind, because at least I was there with my friend, and I think that everyone needs to just take light out of bad situations. Like
Yeah,
Rob
I agree.
says, if you don't laugh,
You cry.
you cry.
I like that a lot. I do like that. But like, back to the high school thing. I like I said, my teacher, she saw it as a bad thing, but I did end up changing like her mind on that. Like she sees it both ways now, but instead of just the one way she saw it. Like you have to try to do that.
You have to
Let's
open
get-
people's perspectives.
Exactly. Like let them see from both sides of the story, which is a very big problem.
And here's the thing, and to close this off, I work with my coworker Bob, and what we do is when we work together, I find that he misses a lot of issues that we're looking at. He won't see it from a different perspective. So when I give my ideas, he's actually genuinely open to them, and most of them actually work. And he says I'm one of the best people he's worked with in a while, and that makes me feel happy because I do have a separate mind of thinking because I'm always thinking, I'm always moving. It's like anxiety. That's why I see it as. I'm a very anxious person. I get anxious easily in social situations, blah, blah. But I know that I can take some good out of it. That I'm always thinking, so I can always think ahead, and that's why I like this career I chose.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be there forever, but I'm going to be able to help all that I can. And I feel like seeing things from a different perspective is always just way better than just being stubborn on one thing. Because then you'll never open yourself up to new ideas and new, ideas of thinking and ideas of moving forward in life.
Like the idea of a job could be a bad thing, and it is seen as a bad thing for most people because it's stressful. But like, think about after the fact of working that day, that stress is all gone. You feel so much better. You feel more accomplished. You made money. It's just, and it's something to do, rather than just sitting at home doing nothing.
Right. I
So-
agree.
So what you can take from this podcast is listen to this podcast instead of going to work. It's going to be every Friday. Skip work on every single Friday.
It does not matter when you work.
Yeah, I don't care when you work.
Even
Listen
if
to
you're-
it when
even-
you're supposed to.
Even if you go to work, take a nice 45-minute break. This will probably be an hour. Take
Yeah.
a nice hour break for yourself. Enjoy yourself. Don't worry about anything.
Play it on the
else.
radio so everyone at work can hear.
Play it on the PA, even on the
Yeah.
if you're on a drive-thru.
Play it on the piano.
Play it
on the piano. And just remember, live life and find your paradise.
Remember, living life like this. I'll see you next week.